Hello, I'm Michael Hoyt, and most of you know that I write a blog on WordPress. Well, tonight I'm doing something entirely different. I'm recording my first ever video blog. And what I thought I'd talk about tonight or today is why I'm a Democrat. There was a meme on Facebook a while back that said it pretty simply. It said, when I was in school and we studied the Holocaust, I used to wonder how they got so many people to go along with them. Well, those aren't my words. Those are somebody else's. But they are my sentiments. You see, when Hitler and the Nazis were coming into power in Germany, things were different. It was harder. I'm sure that the Nazis owned pretty much of the media, but they had to put flyers out. They probably had pictures of Nazis and Hitler all over the place, and they advertised this extreme nationalism, and I'm sure they had radio going full blast most of the time. That's just the way it is. That's propaganda. But today it's easier. It's so much easier. We have the internet. I mean, Breitbart.com, even though Breitbart died, his website is still going full blast. And Bill O'Reilly, or not Bill O'Reilly, but Glenn Beck has the Blaze, and then we have Fox News that's just pumping out this propaganda 24/7, along with hate radio guys like Rush Limbaugh. And they're just pumping it out 24/7. You can't get away from it. And then you've got the Koch brothers. They're pumping millions and millions of dollars into our elections to the point where they're just almost not our elections anymore. And then every Republican political ad, there isn't a word of truth in any of them. They just lie. They make things up. They make things up about people. That, like Obama being Kenyan, and the liberals are Nazis and socialists and whatever the moniker they decide to put on them at the time. And it's pretty bad. When I was a kid, okay, I think it was in 61 or 62, something like that. My dad owned a 1949 Ford. And I remember we had gone somewhere. This is up in Oregon. We had gone somewhere. I can't remember where. But we came up to this place where there's a box factory. Now, my mom and dad were in the front seat, and me and my brother were in the back seat. But there's a box factory. It had just reopened. And I remember my dad saying to my mom, do you ever notice that when the Republicans are in power, all these little independents go out of business, but when the Democrats get back in power, well, they manage to open back up. And I've never forgotten that. That really hit me hard and got me to thinking. And I watched it through the years till I was old enough to vote and beyond. And it was true. Only now they're more open with it. They don't care. They say they're going to cut Social Security and Medicare. They say no veterans benefits. No, don't want any of those. They cost too much. Education, nah, that costs too much. Women belong in the home. Cooking dinner for their husband. They don't belong out there working and making the same amount of money as as a man does for doing the same job. Nah, we don't need that. We're Republicans. We don't need that. But what we do need is we need to keep those oil subsidies going, and companies that do jobs, create jobs out of seeds. We just need to keep paying them to do that, and you know, so what if BP spills a little oil in the Gulf, and then somebody else spills it in the Kalamazoo River, and somebody else spills it in Lake Michigan, and chemicals are spilled in Kansas, making it so that 300,000 people don't have water, or coal slurry spills. So what? That as long as we get, you know, those rich people and those corporations, man, they're the job creators. You know, they're the ones that create the jobs. Of course, you know, my way of thinking, these places don't really create the jobs. The middle class creates the jobs. The consumers create the jobs. The ones that actually spend money create the jobs. Because if there's no demand for their product, these companies lay people off. They don't hire people. So the middle class gets money and they spend it and they create jobs. But anyway, I digress. Education. They want to cut education. They claim to be pro-life, but you know they're not really pro-life. They're anti-abortion. You know, they don't want women to have abortion for any reason, but once it's born, you know, it don't need proper nutrition. It doesn't need that. It doesn't need an education either. It doesn't need proper medical care until it turns 18. When it turns 18, then we'll take care of it. It can go in our army and it can go fight the war for us. But once it comes out of the army, it's missing an arm or a leg, or got PTSD real bad, well, we don't care. It's no good to us anymore. They can go live in a cardboard box on the streets or whatever. Why should we give them benefits then? And that's only. This is getting a little bit long, but this is only part of why I'm a Democrat. I just believe that the Democrats, I just believe that the Republicans and their agenda is just totally bad for this country. It just is. There's no getting around it. Their agenda and what they're trying to do is selling this country to the other countries, and I'm not going to stand for it if I can help it. If there's anything I can do to stop it, I will, and I hope that others will be with me. Well, that's it for now, and thank you, and I'll probably do another one in about a week. Good night.